Hi, and welcome to the Aroma Talk. My name is Arik Xander, and I am the Master Blender at Aurelia Essential Oils. And I'm really happy to talk to you today about healing and expansion and some of the products that we have to help you do exactly that. This is a really interesting time of year. We're giving this class now on June 18th, and we're just about to move into what's called Cancer season. And that is the beginning of the summer season with the summer solstice. And there's just so much healing energy that's available to us that it's just like an amazing time to really tap into kind of like that inner healer and see what it is that we can heal within us and around us. Before we get into all of that, I just kind of want to go over a little bit some of the things before we dive in deep. Now, everything that I'm saying in here, you're going to learn a lot, but I just want to put a medical disclaimer. You just need to know that we're only talking about energy here because, of course, in the case of diseases, we're only addressing kind of the spiritual, the etherical level. And there's a lot to talk here about the blend cancer because, of course, as you know, the disease cancer comes from the constellation, the name Cancer. And I'm going to talk extensively about that. But what I want to do is just kind of go over our essential oils and why they differ from maybe something else that you'll find online or in a store or something that you've used, maybe in a spa or somewhere. Because we are specialists in blends. We are actually market leaders of essential oil blends. And what does that mean? Is that we have synergies. And these synergies are created by different single notes that come together in unity, and they form something greater than themselves. Now, you might maybe kind of experienced with single notes, or perhaps you know our blends, and this is just like a nice refresher for you. But single notes like lavender or just pine or cypress or sandalwood, they are very powerful in and of themselves, and you can use it on your skin, or some people use it in all kinds of creative ways, but they can kind of bring imbalance, okay? They can bring imbalance to your energy, to your hormones, and it's not a very like systematic or synergistic way of using essential oils. It's also kind of like with vitamins. You can just take a pure vitamin, but you're probably not going to digest it. You're probably not going to metabolize it as well as if you take like a formulated vitamin that has certain components in it that balance it out. And the essential oil synergies, they work in the same way. So you can feel very safe using our blends. And something that's really amazing to know is that our blends are created by divine inspiration and divine information, as well as the research and the feedback that goes in based off of that divine inspiration, those divine recipes. And we have over like 90 different blends, and we have over hundreds of different kinds of recipes that are not necessarily out on the market, but we are really, really, really like advanced with those recipes, those blends, and then we're creating those different solutions for all the different aspects of human life. So our slogan is essentials to celebrate life. That's what the Aurelia brand is about. Is, of course, we help with all kinds of different issues that you may have, but really the essential oil blends are to kind of like give you these wings so that you can bring your frequency up and thereby your vibration. And so that's why it's the essentials to celebrate life and all of its sensual experiences and all of its glory. Now, as you know, in addition to being a master blender here at Aurelia Essential Oils, I'm also naturopath, and I work a lot with the neurology. So, of course, I have to say that when you inhale an aroma, one of our blends, for example, the Cancer blend, which I have here, what happens is that you inhale it through your nose, and then it's going through, like, it's going right through the nerve into the brain, okay? and it's going right into the emotional part of the brain, just to make it very simple. And it's affecting our what's called the amygdala, the limbic system. And the amygdala is the fight, flight, fear, threat, danger, pain, punishment, the whole gamut. This is where we're responding to things in our reality. So if you imagine that when you're inhaling one of our divine essences, one of our heavenly blends that have been channeled, what is that doing to your brain? Okay, what is that doing to your whole system that's going along with that? So that is really kind of something to keep in mind when you're using our blends, that less is more. So because they're very powerful, you can just inhale a blend and it's going to really shift the energy inside of you and then go out into your reality as well. Okay, so with that said, it's kind of like we're going to talk a little bit about the Cancer Essential Oil blend. This is one of the astrology blends that I developed probably, I guess maybe 5 or 6 years ago at least, or at least that's when we brought it out. And it's under the ASTROLOCHI collection of essential oil blends. So we have one for every star sign. And the way that I developed for everyone to use them is, of course, yes, you can use it for your star sign, but you can also use it for the time of year. Every zodiac sign rules a certain time of year. It falls into a certain season. Cancer is the beginning of the summer season. So it's about the timing of, which blend to use. And because the astrology blends, they cover everything from the physical level to the emotional level, the mental level, and the spiritual level. You can see that it can kind of get confusing when to use a certain blend. So it becomes very obvious that we have the zodiac blend, so you use them during those seasons. I put in the chat, or you can find a link that you can actually put in your birth information on Zodiac Hacks, a site, a project that I have, and there you can see where is Cancer season manifesting in your world. Where is it manifesting in your life? And because we are working so much on ourselves, we want wellness, we want to make spiritual advancements, we want to grow. Sometimes it's just like really good to have a product, something you can use, and it's going to help you, okay? Because yes, you can meditate, and yes, you can do techniques, and you can do all kinds of stuff, but sometimes you just need like a sensual experience, something to shift your energy and to align you with what's going on. Now, the Cancer blend is very, very, very powerful, and like I said, it also is created by the divine instructions. So Cancer is an archetype that is made up of, I guess you could say, like different archetypes, okay? And these archetypes, they have associations with different plants. So the formula that we used for the astrology blends, and in this case Cancer, are in alignment with those archetypes that rule over that sign. So Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is connected to sandalwood, and Cancer is also connected to the plant, the flower geranium. So we have geranium and sandalwood, and then cypress, which is another part of the Cancer archetype, is in there to balance it out. Now, one of the things that I have been trying to figure out since I started working with the oils and selling them online and educating people online, like many, many years ago, is how do you give people the experience to smell them online? And you can't, not really at this point. Now, it's really interesting, but what I can do is I can describe it to you if you don't have it. And someone asked, do the blends change year after year? Well, the recipe doesn't change in and of itself. However, what does change is it's like wine. From one season to the next, they're going to taste different. Wine is going to have, it's going to be this, like it's going to be like a Chardonnay, but one year is going to be different from the next. So the same thing is true for our blends. Season after season, harvest after harvest, there will be different kind of properties to the single notes, and when they come together, they still are serving that divine recipe, that blend, but it's going to have its unique season, its unique smell, its unique aroma and qualities that it won't have any other time of year, but it's going to still have the same properties. So the cypress is having that fresh, clean, woody scent with a little bit of evergreen in there. And then you have geranium, which is very sweet and floral, and sandalwood is very rich and warm. There's a lot of sandalwood in here. There's a lot of sandalwood. So the best way, a good way to use is that, of course, you can just open it and you put a drop in your hand or two. You rub your hands together and you inhale, and you will immediately feel a shift, okay? And it creates a very nice, harmonious combination of these woody notes, these floral tones, and this grounding base of sandalwood. And it's very, very, very soothing and very, very like refreshing as well. Now, with the astrology collection, what we're doing is that the theory here is that you have in your life, you know, lucky stars, unlucky stars, or you have luck in your life, or you don't have luck in your life, or you have lucky situations or unlucky situations. And even more specifically, each sign brings its own luck or kind of misfortune. In the case of Cancer, it has a lot to do with family, with home, the family you come from, the family you create. It's also your emotions, and it's the ability to care and be nurtured and to receive nurturing as well. So there is already a lot of things that can go wrong in this area of our life, but there's also a lot of things that can go right, and it can be very, very, very rewarding. So regardless of that, that's just to give you an overview. This is very much infected or affected by our emotional state. So we use the plants to overcome the effect of the planets. And that's just going back to what I said, like sometimes it's just really nice to have something that you can use to help you to kind of balance yourself in any kind of situation that you find yourself in. Now, depending on where Cancer is in your chart, or let's say you have Sun in Cancer, Moon in Cancer, or you're a rising Cancer, there's a lot of strong kind of Cancerian energy within you. So these themes will sit very strong for you. But you could also have different planets in Cancer, or you could have Cancer ruling on your house of relationships. So maybe you act like a Cancer in your relationships, for example. Everybody has Cancer in their chart. And where you know where it is, then you know how this blend is going to help you. So now I have to address like the whole time of Cancer, and what this Cancer blend does is it's extremely healing. It's like underneath Healing Master, it is the healing blend, because the whole archetype, the whole season, the whole time of Cancer is about healing, okay? So that, of course, brings up the subject of Cancer in and of itself, like the disease, and all diseases as well. Now, I've had many clients, they didn't know anything about astrology, and then they bought Cancer thinking that it's going to help with that. Now, of course, we cannot say like anything like that. However, on a spiritual level, the patterns underneath, of course, because we know that any kind of disease is a symptom of a root cause. And that's what the oils are doing. They are addressing the subtle layers that are there, the very subtle invisible layers, and bringing out the physical effects. So it can help with kind of the blueprints, the patterns that are underneath illnesses. Like I said, the name, the disease Cancer came from the constellation Cancer, because it's to describe cells that are acting strange. And the constellation Cancer is a crab. And the crab is not walking straight forward. It's kind of going left and right. It's not really approaching things straight on. So the blend can help with anytime you have a situation where you're manipulating, or you're making kind of like these side steps, or you have a goal, and the way you get to your goal is by walking all the way around it, because maybe you don't feel confident enough to approach it, or you need to have permission to reach that goal. The Cancer blend says absolutely not. We need to align you with mastery. We need to align you with approaching the goals that you have like head on and straightforward. And so, yeah, I do suggest it to clients who want to heal, who want to prevent, who want to really be proactive with their healing, not reactive with the healing, okay? And that is especially, in regards to anger, hatred, and also selfishness, because at the root of a lot of diseases is selfishness. It's kind of like the disease is a wake-up call to kind of see, like, where are you being selfish? And we use Cancer because it is the blend that activates caring and sharing and generosity to help you get out of protecting myself, because that's a very selfish thing to do. It is very selfish, because if you are really caring and sharing, you are protected. You are allowing that divine energy to flow through you. And so once again, the blend helps with exactly that, to help you to open up so that you can allow that loving energy to flow through, because really all you need is that loving energy to flow through, which means that you need to be open to it. When we're selfish, we're afraid there's not enough. We get too obsessed with the material. We need to protect what's ours, or we need to protect the people around us, and they don't need protection. People who have a lot of strong Cancer in their chart, they often think they have to protect themselves, they have to protect others. But one of the karmas of this path is to say, no, you don't need to protect. Think of like a parent protecting the children. But at the same time, if you smother people that you love, or your children, or even your projects, they're not going to grow. And so the Cancer blend says, no, everybody's safe, everything's okay. Let the actual positive energy flow through. And this is going to help to activate that caring archetype within you, and especially in that area where Cancer rules within your chart. Now, one of the amazing consequences of this as well is that the blend is helping you to become softer. So if we have been protecting ourselves and protecting others and kind of like having that hard Cancerian shell, we can become very hard with people. And so the Cancer blend helps to be like softening up, okay? And what does that translate into? And what we have seen, what people have reported as well, is that they are softening that hatred. And I love suggesting that people diffuse this blend in their home. So the best way to do that is with an aroma diffuser, like one with a candle and purified water, because what it does inside of your home is it softens the energy. It makes it homey. It's an amazing way. If you are integrating into a new home, or if your home kind of just needs like a reset, if your home just feels like a house and not a home, the Cancer blend will make it feel very homey, very safe, and it will soften the cold energy. So it's very, very, very good to use, like, to create that nest, to create that beautiful place as well. Now, and as I was saying, also it softens that hardness, which is translating into softening that hatred. And that is such a powerful healing way, because when you can soften that shell, that hard shell, we can open up and we can receive love, and we can be more loving, and we can also be more caring. And this is what's so amazing about this blend, is that it will help you to stop being obsessed with that protection, that national security. I mean, think about it. The United States is a cancer. That's the sign of the cancer. The national security. We have to protect everything, And I'm not saying that's not necessary. However, it's kind of like sometimes it's like, oh my God, now I have to go in this lane and I have to do this because of national security. I have to fill out the form and all this stuff. And I understand it, but it's just like as an example, like how sometimes we go overboard, or like the helicopter parents, like hovering over the children. No, let them do their thing. Let them grow. And this helps us to really trust in that flow and that process, especially in that area of your life. Remember, wherever Cancer is in your chart, that's representing where you can be a little bit of that helicopter. And where I love to, use the Cancer spray as well, is to kind of just spray the aura, calm down, or even better, spray in the area where Cancer is ruling in your chart. So if it's ruling over your business or your career, spray it on your desk. If it's ruling over your relationships, spray it on your bed, or spray it, wherever before you go on a date or whatever, just to kind of chill out and relax, because it also activates your intuition so that you can know what's going on as well, which is really, really, really powerful. But you cannot have a strong intuition if you're protecting yourself, if you're being obsessed with, kind of what's going on. So I want to get into where we can use the Cancer blend specifically to activate some of the healing and some of the things that we were talking about as well. Now, it's very interesting because there are specific body parts that are ruled by Cancer as well. And these have to do with the stomach, the chest, of course, the stomach meridian, the Cancer pathway, the breast and the breastfeeding, speech, and your emotional body. So the Cancer blend is helping with digestive issues. It's helping with the stomach that needs to receive. The stomach is that energy of receiving. And then, of course, the chest, the breast, the breastfeeding, all of these things, the speech, how you're communicating, the emotional body, all of this is being supported and kind of reprogrammed by the Cancer blend. Now, where to use it, this is very interesting, because when you use the Cancer blend on specific areas of your body, it's going to help heal those areas. And then, of course, that's going to spread out everywhere. So I want to talk specifically because Cancer is ruling over the chest, and in particular, the pectoralis major clavicular. Now, if you think about in your life, anytime, you're using this muscle or these muscles when you are opening heavy doors or you're pushing heavy doors, okay? So what you can actually do in like a self-massage, what you can do to kind of like reprogram these worn out muscles, or if you ever have like kind of problems with any of these things, which I'll go over, you can actually put a few drops into your hand of Cancer blend, and then you can dilute it with jojoba oil or olive oil even. This is something we all have in our homes, hopefully. And you can dilute it, and then you can apply it onto your chest here where you see, and it will help on all levels, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, like including, if you're pushing a shopping cart or you're lifting objects over your head, carrying objects at your shoulder height, anytime you're reaching above your head, golf, tennis, basketball, baseball, this is using this muscle. Washing windows, painting walls, scrubbing surfaces. Very interesting because Cancer rules over the home. It rules over the family. So cleaning your house, cleaning your space, this is using the Cancer muscle. And so that muscle needs to be reset. It needs to be rebooted. And then, of course, it helps with so many different emotional things. Like sometimes you could be like resentful for cleaning, or cooking. You want to be in a good energy before you're cooking. You can use this blend as well. And it's really, really, really good way to use the Cancer blend there. Also, you can use it on your stomach. You can apply it there because this, like on your diaphragm, this is going to help with a lot of the emotions. The next area is this is very interesting, the brachioradialis. Now, this is funny. Anyone who has had like a healing with me or you see me work like online or something, this is the muscle I use when I'm muscle testing people. This is like, you see me kind of like, we call it like the kangaroo like hands, because you kind of look like a kangaroo. And this is what I'm using all the time to test. And I use this Cancer muscle because the Cancer sign is very intuitive and it can communicate with your subconscious. So when I'm doing a test, I have a direct line there with the subconscious. But you can rub the Cancer blend once again on this muscle. So it's basically on your forearm. And we also use this muscle for lifting or stabilizing objects. Anytime you're bending the elbow, carrying grocery bags or heavy things or boxes, turning doorknobs, using screwdrivers, wrenches, this is all using this muscle. Performing tasks that require forearm rotation, elbow flexion. Now, what's really amazing is that this muscle is responsible for bringing drinks and food to your mouth. Cancer is about food, eating, cooking. Cancer is like, it's all about that. So this muscle is being used to elevate food into your mouth. So when you're eating, you're supposed to be elevating the food, the botanical kingdom, the animal kingdom, if you eat meat, the water, all of this stuff, you need to be elevating it. So the Cancer blend, putting it there, even if you use it for like a month and then you don't use it, you'll notice that these muscles, these tasks in your life, they will become easier. Okay, and this applies to the emotional, the spiritual things as well. But with the physical, you can really see it. So if you get a massage with the Cancer blend, this is really amazing to do that during Cancer season. That's like a full body thing. But when we target the specific muscles that are ruled by Cancer, then we're really getting in there and reprogramming the chart, reprogramming the body. Shaking hands. We use this muscle when we connect with others, when we're shaking hands. So, when you're picking up energy from people, you're sharing energy with people, use the Cancer blend on that area. I know it sounds like, oh my God, I never thought about this. Trust me, try it. It's going to change your life. So writing and typing, we use this muscle as well. Maybe you kind of feel if you write or type a lot, I know, when I'm writing and I write a lot, it's like I often feel it in this muscle as well. So I'll rub Cancer blend on there. And Cancer is also the sign of the writer. It's definitely like where we are writing a lot. And, so we're basically translating the thoughts from one state to another. So let me just see. So here it is. I wasn't touching the screen. Okay, so then another is the neck. Okay, so you have the levator scapulae, and this also is mostly involved like when you're on the phone. If you hold the phone up to your ear, like, and you kind of do this, all right, or if you have a bag on your shoulder, we're using this muscles where rub the Cancer blend right there where you see it. Okay, very, very, very important. Just rub it on there because it's going to help stabilize everything. It's going to help kind of like really get all of your body in the proper alignment. And why that's so important is because Cancer also rules over something called context. And the context is how we outline our life and how we outline our reality. So, like I said, the risk here is that the Cancer archetype tends to go into sideways and it's not being direct, so it goes into manipulation. And like we can have what's called compensated muscles. Like if we are going like this a lot, talking on the phone, or if we are doing certain things, like certain positions, then our muscles get used to it, and then our other muscles, they have to compensate for that. And that context is not the ideal context for the flow of life, the flow of energy. But if you use the Cancer blend on your body, in your space, then it's going to allow that flow of energy to go through, because we all have compensations emotionally, physically, and all levels. So the blend really helps to stop that and restructure things, because Cancer rules over all kinds of vehicles, including our car, our home, even our reality. Our reality is a vehicle for that divine light. So when we're using the blend, it will help you to become victorious in whatever it is that you're doing, because the Cancer archetype is the mastery over limitations. It's about being victorious. It's about letting go of codependency in the relationships, and we can have true expansion. So that is really like when we are talking about our realities, and we kind of take our realities everywhere we go, like a crab or a snail. They take their shell everywhere they go, but inside they're this soft little thing. But we are the same way. We are these soft kind of inner children, and we are taking our realities wherever we go, which means our traumas, our experiences, our good experiences, our not so good experiences. And we take that everywhere we go, and it tends to become a comfort zone. So even sometimes if we travel, maybe we will bring all of our comfort so that we're not really traveling. And this is like just a metaphor for how we take our context everywhere we go, because really every day is a new thing, even if it looks familiar. So the Cancer blend says, okay, you guys, we can actually grow out of these old postures from these muscles that I was talking about. So when you're using the blend on those muscles, it's going to help you to kind of grow out of those old, outdated perceptions and those emotions and those comfort zones, and then go into that true expansion, because this is the sign and the blend where we can have this true expansion, where we can expand out of being selfish and being only protecting ourselves, but we can create like this healing field of selflessness. And then we're having like this generosity. And so everywhere we go, everyone that we come into contact with, when we're wearing the blend, it will create a healing field for them. So I love this, because I often suggest it to healing practitioners. Just keep it in an aroma lamp, put it on you, when you're in your practice, because that's going to create that healing environment. Like I said, it creates that homey environment at home, but it can also create that healing environment as well, because it moves out of being selfish to selfless and generous, and it helps with all of those muscles as well. And a really good way to also activate it, one of the acupressure points to also use the blend is just below the eyes right here. Okay, so you can use it with raw skincare oil, which is like really good for like anti-aging and stuff like that. But you can just put like a drop on, and then put some raw skincare oil on it, and you can just apply it here. Okay, these are the acupoints for stomach and Cancer. And this is going to also activate like that healing field to get you out of any kind of selfish activity, but to get you into that selfless and then that true expansion. So that's how we move from the comfort zone of like my protection and my path and like all of this selfish kind of harm we do to ourselves and to others, into that generous, true expansion. So it's another way of saying we're getting out of our shell. We're moving into a bigger shell, and we're expanding. It's very, very, very powerful. Moving out of the comfort zone and into the healing zones. So very, very, very powerful. Another way you can use it is because the Cancer is the only sign ruled by the moon. And the moon, as we know, is the third eye chakra. So you can also just apply some a little bit here. That helps with the pituitary gland, the third eye, to kind of give you that strong intuition that only comes with the moon through Cancer. Very, very, very powerful to understand the context versus the content, because many times we get so wrapped up in what's going on that we lose the bigger picture. But the Cancer blend says, let me show you the context of what's going on, not just the drama and everything, but there is a context that we need to understand. And that's the same thing that I was talking about, that everywhere we go, we take our context with us. All of our emotions, all of our perceptions, all of our experiences, and it can get really old, okay? So this is giving us like a refresh, reboot to kind of get out of that, okay? Now, if you think about it, even with technology, every Google search or every AI prompt it depends on the context, okay? The way that you're searching for something, but also it's very personalized to your context, to your algorithms, to your history, your browsing history, and I would even say your thought history, because we know it's reading our thoughts, okay? So very, very interesting. So whatever you are doing in your life, okay, your actions, your emotions, your thoughts, it's putting energy into motion, which is an emotion. Cancer is ruling over the emotions. And the flow of energy is getting confused if our muscles are out of sync, if our energy is kind of, not optimal, if it's kind of like this low vibration, if we're manipulating, if we're cynical, if we're depressed, the energy can't flow through. So the devil's circle here is that when we are in a manipulated state, because we haven't really been straightforward with our path, we then manipulate to get out of that manipulation. Rather than doing the inner work, removing the obstacles, the ego tends to blame, it complains, it pretends, it kind of like hides things. But like I told you, these blends, they're very powerful. They want to, like all of our blends, they want to lift your vibration up. They want to lift your frequency up. So it's kind of like, rather than working on the blockage, the ego tends to work around the blockage, and nothing other even really gets resolved. So a good kind of jump start with that is to use the Cancer blend on these acupressure points here, on the aforementioned muscles, but also very, very, very good to do is to also just take your hand. This is something that I do in my astrology balancings all the time, is, you can just rub the Cancer oil on your hand, and then you can just, run your energy, like you just run your hand where you see this pathway here. This is the Cancer pathway, the stomach meridian, and you can just rub your hand up and down to your feet, just trace that meridian. And this is very good for the stomach, the lymphatic system, for the receiving the food, receiving the information. And while you're doing that, or even while you're applying the blend, you could just say, I am content, because it has to do with contentment, being grateful, all of these things as well. So you could just trace that meridian, and it'll help to kind of reboot like all of these themes that we're talking about. So establishing that positive flow, being the master of your reality, rebooting like that old stale energy, and finding that true safety so that you can expand out of the the selfishness, but into that cosmic nurturing where we can truly care for others, because caring for others is the most fulfilling thing that you could ever experience. Caring is the most important thing. It is not the same as worry. Caring is not the same thing as worrying. And the Cancer blend will help you with that. It'll help you to understand that. It'll help you to really step out of that neediness, that worry, all of those issues that often come through our families and come through the home issues as well. So it's really helping you to activate safety and care and that expansion, and to deactivate the moodiness, and that often comes with the sign, and even if you're moody in your life, even if you're not a Cancer, it's like I said, we all have Cancer somewhere, but the moodiness, the repression, and the neediness as well. So these are some really good ways to use it. Also, of course, during Cancer season, it's very, 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 very important to kind of, it's extra supercharged as well. So I think it's we want to stop protecting ourselves so much so that we can step into our life. And the Cancer blend is especially doing that, so that we can move forward, be the masters of our reality, and then take that expansive healing context with us everywhere that we are going. Okay? So we have, I put some links here in the chat. You have the calculator where you can see where Cancer is ruling in your chart. And then there's a discount code for the Cancer spray and the Cancer blend as well that you can use. It'll be good for 24 hours. So you can just use that, and then it'll give you an automatic discount on those blends, and then you can start using them as well. And so thank you so much. And let me see. And we will see you guys next time.